Well, I got in the field because it was very personal. I grew up in the segregated South in the 50s and 60s, and it was really highly segregated, and where blacks went to black schools and whites went to white schools, and that was discrimination. So I became involved for very personal reasons because I saw many black youngsters as bright as me who dropped out of school and didn't make it. So I developed a commitment to first starting with black students. My first work was on African Americans. And so when I became a fifth grade teacher, and then after that I wrote, my first book was March Toward Freedom, A History of Black Americans. It was a book for junior high school students. And then my next book was teaching the black experience. But to make a long story short, I began to meet other scholars when I went to the University of Washington from other ethnic groups, and I began to realize that blacks weren't the only group that was discriminated against, but that other groups were too. All of these groups had a profound effect on my view of the world, and I began to see diversity and racism as going across groups. So my work then expanded from black studies to ethnic studies, and then later on to multi-ethnic education and to multiculturalism.
So Professor Banks, can you tell me about your own personal identity?
Well, my personal identity, as I said in the question, was really strongly influenced by growing up in an apartheid segregated society, and so that your personal identity